we talked about, your high school experience and coming into university. If we fast forward now to now you are a graduate, you're an alum, do you have any tips and advice for aspiring young professionals?
Tips for aspiring professionals. To me, it's always been really important to be genuine and honest, kind of with myself and with others. And so I'll break that down a little bit with myself, understanding that if I'm not passionate about something, I'm not going to be able to bring my whole self to work. I'm not going to be able to do outstanding work where I feel like proud of what I've done at the end of the day, and where I feel like, yeah, if someone were to ask me about what I do, I could tell them and they can tell that I enjoy my job, right? I think a lot of people, they see a job as like, okay, it's a way to make money and fund that. And certainly I think there's an element of, my job is my job, my life is my life. But I also don't want to hate the 40 hours a week, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or sometimes even longer during busier periods where I am working. I want to be interested in what I'm doing. I want to feel like I'm bringing value to my clients, like I'm supported by my team. And so if you don't feel that, I think that's a pretty good indicator of this might not be the best fit for me. And that's not to say that it's not a good job for somebody else, but your career is your own. It's your own journey, and I think it's important to be happy, right? And that again, it's 40 hours at least a week, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or different hours or longer hours. If you're not happy, that will permeate to the other parts of your life. And so, how can you, just settle for something less than what you deserve, So that's kind of on the self part. In terms of, being genuine and honest with others, I think there's always an element of if something's not working for me and I have the opportunity to correct it going forward, or let's say fix it for the next person that comes into the role, it's my duty almost to speak up and to try to change that. If something is not working, why would you just let it be? It's gonna, potentially create the same bad or negative experience for someone else, or if it was for myself going forward. And that's just not to say that like I've had a terrible time or anything, but sometimes it's just a little thing. It's like, hey, I thrived on this one type of team and I didn't do so well on this other type of team. If you give me a choice in the future, I will pick this other team. Or, if I have the opportunity to change the composition of the team or the way that the team works, I'm gonna speak up, I'm gonna try to change it. If it's more like, hey, I don't get along with this one person, then maybe it's an opportunity to sit down with them and talk to them and get to know them better so that you have a better working relationship going forward. So again, I think that just kind of ties to the idea of doing what's best for yourself, but also, if you can make the difference. And it's, again, I think I used this phrase before, no skin off your back. Or if it's gonna make a difference, maybe it is worth putting in, that effort to change it.
That is fantastic advice, I would say. I did, when I said young professionals, I think that's professionals and people in general. I think that's fantastic advice. So I just wanted to thank you for coming back to campus. It's so nice to see you. Nice to see you when you were a student and now seeing you as an alum, and I'm sure I will continue to see you.
I'll be back.
Good, I'm glad. So thank you again.
No problem.